He has been one of the Conservative Party's most recognisable figures in recent years. A former cabinet minister, an almost party leader.
You're on camera, mate, you bang to rights.
And one of the most active political social media campaigners. But this morning, Robert Jenrick was informed that he was being sacked.
I removed the Conservative whip from Robert Jenrick after dismissing him from the shadow cabinet. I was very sorry to be presented with clear, irrefutable evidence, not just that he was preparing to defect, but he was planning to do so in the most damaging way possible to the Conservative Party and his shadow cabinet colleagues.
That announcement on X came at the exact moment Nigel Farage was holding a press conference in Scotland. The timing immaculate, an aide having to break the news.
There we are, breaking news. It's all happening, isn't it?
Political theatre, perfectly choreographed.
I can confirm, hand on heart, honestly, look you in the eye, I was not going to be unveiling Robert Jenrick at 4:30 this afternoon.
But come 4:30 in the afternoon, there was another Reform press conference.
I will welcome Robert Jenrick into this room and into Reform UK.
Jenrick's sacking had apparently forced his hand, but for a moment it didn't look like he was turning up to his own party.
Do we play music now, or what are we doing? No. OK, folks, don't worry. I've just had the thumbs up. He hasn't changed his mind.
But after an unexplained pause,
here he is.
The former Tory leadership hopeful emerged to deliver a scathing assessment of his previous party.
The two main parties are rotten. They are no longer fit for purpose. They both broke Britain, and neither can fix it. The fact is the Conservative Party is so compromised that it cannot speak for the country. It cannot oppose Labour's madness.
But there are questions over his track record. You were Housing Secretary, you were a Health Minister, you were an Immigration Minister, you were in the Treasury. Did you play a part in what you say is the breaking of Britain?
There were battles that I fought to build more homes, let down by Boris Johnson, to get immigration down, let down by Rishi Sunak. But did I contribute to mistakes? I'm very open and honest to say, yes, I did.
Tory colleagues didn't seem too sad to see the back of him.
It's a very strong decision that strengthens Kemi Badenoch's position and I think will be popular with the public.
I think Kemi's done absolutely the right thing today.
Is your message to Nigel Farage, there's Robert Jenrick, you can have him if you want to?
Yeah, I think it's Nigel Farage's problem now.
Jenrick has been on quite the political journey. He entered Parliament as an MP in 2014, voted Remain during the Brexit referendum in 2016. He went on to support Boris Johnson and was made a cabinet minister. Then, under Rishi Sunak, he was an immigration minister and later resigned in protest over the government's Rwanda policy because he thought it didn't go far enough. After the Tories' election defeat in 2024, Jenrick then ran for party leader but lost out to Kemi Badenoch. After his defection, she decided to take a much-needed trip to a whiskey distillery.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And seemed to be in pretty good spirits.
Actually, it's been a good day because I've been able to tell a good story about how the Conservative Party is changing. We are losing a lot of the people who did not belong in our party, people who are just in politics for personal ambition rather than public service.
But now he's in a new party. Will Jenrick be a faithful? The Liberal Democrats certainly don't think so, while the Prime Minister said this all shows the Tories are now a sinking ship. The question for Nigel Farage now is how well can he work with the latest member of his team.
And Shihab is here to talk a bit further about this. Completely bonkers day, really, hasn't it been? And, it may seem that Farage is smiling tonight, but Kemi Badenoch pretty happy too, pretty chipper. Who's come out on top, do you think?
I think it's quite hard to say at this point. It's a bit of a balancing act where you've got Kemi Badenoch, who seems to be quite relieved that someone who's been a bit of a thorn in her side, the person she ran against to become leader of the Conservative Party, is now no longer going to be there. There's not going to be that conversation about whether he's going to replace her, whether he's going to join Reform. But there are questions here on both sides. It becomes more challenging for both sides if more and more Tory MPs keep going to Reform. Kemi Badenoch won't want to keep losing major figures, At the same time, Nigel Farage wants to keep telling everyone that Reform are an alternative, that they are different to the Conservative Party. That argument becomes more difficult the more and more Conservative MPs or ex-MPs move over. We had Nadeem Zahawi earlier this week, a former Conservative Chancellor. He joined Nigel Farage. Those questions were put to him then. The Reform leader turned around and said, no, we are having discussions with Conservative MPs. We're not taking everyone. The question will be, how do they gel? How do they move forward? And how does Nigel Farage continue to make the point that they are different to the Conservatives?